why have we got Pastor Joe Brooks though?
We got Pastor Joe Brooks on because about 5 years ago.
It was more than that.
No, Joe was about 1.
Okay.
I think it was about 1.
Yeah.
So about 5 years ago, we went on a marriage retreat for Kurt to deliver some health and well-being training. And Pastor Joe was the guest speaker. And he and his wife, Yvonne, were speaking on marriage, on sex and relationships. And it was one of the most deepest talks we've ever heard in the subject. We've been to quite a few seminars and stuff like that. But this one really went straight to the heart. So we've kind of kept in contact over social media through that time. And we felt like it was a special meeting, and it was a meeting that wasn't going to end at that time. And so for such a time like this, we've asked Pastor Joel to come on and to share the wisdom that he shared with us 6 years ago. We wanted to extend that to you guys, for you guys to get some of that. So we're going to be getting him on shortly.
We're going now.
Going now.
Ooh.
We're going now.
We're going now. Oh gosh.
Get your pens and pads.
I got mine.
Get your pens and pads. Let me just check Wi-Fi's on. Yes.
What's the topic today, though, Ken?
So, sir.
Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
Well,
You guys look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the volume's a little bit low. Just to let you know, the volume's a little bit low.
From me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's a lot of head.
This guy's a joker, you know.
But I'm here. I'm here. So is that better?
It's getting there.
It is, but I tell you what, it's choppy. The image is real choppy.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, why? What are we gonna do?
You want me to get off again with my phone, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no problem. No problem.
So while Pastor Brooks is sorting that out, hey Yvonne, good to see you.
Auntie, sister.
Whilst he's sorted out the Wi-Fi connection, we just want to pin the topic. Do you want to pin the topic now?
Of course, look, bad man.
So the topic is why we are not having sex.
We are.
Usually you hear the opposite, like Christians are telling you to not have sex, especially if you're not married. We're talking to everybody. We feel that this conversation could benefit everybody. For those who are married, it can benefit you. For those who are divorced, it can benefit you. For those who are single, it would definitely benefit you in knowing what you're going into and the pitfalls that you can avoid and the gems that you can pick up along the way. So please feel free in the comments to just put your comments in, send your question, ask any questions. If there's anything anonymous you want to keep anonymous, you can inbox us those questions if you want. We can get it to Pastor Brooks if you want. But there is no question that you should not ask. It is not a personal, what do you call it? It's not a personal life about our sex life. We are learning from Pastor Brooks.
No.
About sex and sexual experiences and stuff like that in marriage and ways forward. So feel free to ask him any questions. He's hailing all the way from Michigan, in the USA. So it's not that it's rare to get someone from America nowadays, because it's not, because the world's so small. But it's good to have someone from overseas, someone who is committed to us, even though we're in a different time zone. He's taken the time to be with us today. Is he coming back?
Maybe. Let's have a look. Let's see what he did. I don't know if it's on the same one. Let's see.
So if you've just joined us, we had Pastor Brooks on just a second ago, but he had a few technical issues. He's coming out to come back in strong. So stay with us. And today we're talking about why we are not having sex. Yes, he's coming back.
He's coming back. Okay, so let me lock that off and let him, if he can request to join us, then we'll take it from there. That's his wife, Yvonne Brooks. I mean, she was
just as amazing.
Yeah. Good to see you all, man. Good to see you all. One day we'll get you on.
Yeah.
And teach us some gems, Sister Yvonne. But you know what? It's very easy. This was really, I was going to speak to Pastor about this. It's real easy to have all those, that energy. You know, you're dating, man. You're going to get that energy. We're working on, no problem. We're going to get, we've got that energy before we get married. Or, man, we're going to smash. Our video is delayed too.
Really? The Wi-Fi is like mint.
This is fiber optic, friend. Mr. Joseph, you know, you're playing with us now. Guys, let us know if our video is choppy.
Yeah, because we don't want it to be, you know what I mean? If we have to come back and we will, because we don't want a choppy production.
Because we'll restart everything and we'll invite you back on in a moment. Mine isn't. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Joseph. Come on. So yeah, it's real easy. You got that energy before you get together. You're looking this good.
Oh.
And then
look, just as you're saying that he's
coming out. You're looking this good. Let's get him on. My kids are big. Okay, look. Let me just see this. I can't do two things at once. You know how it is. My kids are big. Blocker. Wow. Listen, the kids.
So me and the fella gets normality back in bed. Hold that thought.
Do we have you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Beautiful.
Good.
Great. Perfect. So I mean, look, we done a little intro whilst you were absent, but we're just going to get straight into it, if that's all right. We thank you for your time. I know you are ever ready. In fact, before we get into it, to be fair, what we wanted to do, just have a brief moment on on what we're looking at, COVID or Black Lives.
When our guests come on, we kind of ask them, because we're in the moment, how has your COVID-19 experience been and lockdown? And then we'll go on to another question about the present as well. So how has that been for you and your family?
Yeah. Well, you hate that people are sick and that you're losing lives and stuff like that. But as an introvert, this is a dream. I'm having a ball. And we've been, with Katrina, you guys are familiar with Katrina.
Yes.
The hurricane. When Katrina happened, 60 churches ceased to exist. Okay? Like when it's over, 60 churches were gone. Wow. And so I asked myself, how would we have done? And I think we would have survived pretty good. But it just, we weren't prepared. And then I also, part of my prophetic gift is for culture and society. And I felt like there was a time coming when the church was going to have to go online. I thought it would be terrorism.
Yeah.
And that people would blow up churches and, people like, can we do this another way? And so I've been preparing our people to do everything online that we do at church, except a handshake and a hug. And so we've been preparing for it. And so we've been doing prayer in the mornings at 6. That would be 2 your time. Okay. Yeah. But 6 in the morning, we've been doing it for 4 years. And so we've been shifting stuff to online.
Wow.
And so everything has changed in the last few years except church and school.
Yes.
And so in the future, the key to survival is being able to take what you do and deliver it to the home. And so that's the deal. The biggest cab company, now, it has no cars. The biggest hotel chain has no hotels. The biggest merchandiser in the U.S. has no stores. The biggest merchandiser in the world, Alibaba, has no inventory. Okay.
Yes.
And so things have changed, and so the internet allows us to rethink things. I mean, like normally this would have taken 7-hour plane trip.
Yes.
Hotels, expenses. I mean, this is great. So I like where we are. I don't like why we're here. I wish we could have gotten here by wisdom and just said, you know what? We can
not by force.
Anytime. We could call him on Monday and have him on, Monday evening. So the space thing is gone. All we're dealing with now is time.
Yes.
So
wow, I like that.
you know what I'm saying? And so one guy that I know was having a service. He has about 150 people. One of his people, just one of them, hit a share button, and 90 people joined the service.
Wow.
Now, how long would it have taken for those 90 people? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, you know, so there's obviously, I mean, I miss faces. I'm wondering how people are doing, but we're in contact with everybody. All our small groups are Zoom groups. Even we have a lobby experience before our service. We have a lobby experience on Zoom after our service.
Yeah, we call it like a hangout.
Yeah. So people can talk about the service and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so, so we could do everything except touch and hug, and you can't even do that if you meet in person. So I told our people I'm looking at the summer of 21.
Wow.
I want to get back when everybody can, when it's normal, man. I don't want a scaled down version of church.
Yes.
You know, who wants that, man? People sitting all over the place and, you know, wearing masks. Come on, man.
Yeah.
To me, that's crazy. I got friends that are back. They're doing it. But man, you know, I'm good.
Yes.
And I don't want the risk. You know, there's no need for the risk. If we're doing church and nobody's missing, you know, nobody's missing out really. Why risk it, man? To lose one person, to lose one head of household, one child, one mother, one father, just because we wanted to get back into the building, which is not the church. You know what I'm saying? It's like that would really weigh on me, man. That'd be tough.
Yeah.
To lose somebody just because we got tired of being online. So we're doing good. You know, we're reaching more people. So I'm like, give me a good reason to go back and risk it with masks and gloves. I don't want to go to church like that, man.
No, I get it.
But we as a church are doing really well. You know, this thing, I believe it's a judgment. I don't believe it's from God, but I believe it's a judgment. And so you respond in a judgment the opposite of the way you respond under attack. In an attack, you rise up and you go after it. In a judgment, you humble yourself and you rethink what you're doing.
Wow.
And I think things are so wacky right now. Things are so weird that it just spilled over. You know what I'm saying? And to ask God to remove it is kind of like a 12-year-old kid, you know, rebellious, man. I mean, this kid is unmanageable. He's tearing the house up. He won't do anything that's said. And so he finally gets enough. He says, you know what, I'm out, man. I'm leaving. You know, and he gets out, he packs himself a little lunch and a couple of outfits. And then he gets out there and it starts getting dark and he realizes, man, I ain't no help.
Yeah,
I'm headed back home. I didn't think this through. You know?
Yeah.
He goes back home, and so he knocks on the door, and the parents stand there and say, "What's up? We thought you left." He said, "Well, no, I realize I can't live without you." Okay. Well, now that you have that revelation, let's rethink your attitude. Let's rethink your mindset, since you know you can't live without us. And so we can't live without God. Okay. Yeah. And so I think he's waiting for us to get the revelation. Okay, we can't live on our own. We can't do what we want to do and then ask you to bless us. And, you know, people behaving the way they want to. The world is a crazy place. And so I don't believe we have grounds to stand on to say, God, help us with the virus, until we say, you know what, God, we need you. And we need to come in and we will reorder the way we do things, you know, and so that's kind of my take on the prayer. Was, you know, my people were like, they're ready to rise up and pray. Yes. I'm like, when judgment comes, when the sword comes, you get low. you get below the sword, you know, and talk to God about things. Because it's you know, we've been kind of writing our own ticket, and I'm into that. I mean, I'm into the authority of the believer and everything. I believe that, you know, it's up to us as far as praying and connecting to God. But I think the world is so crazy. You know, I believe more stuff is going to happen. We've had the George Floyd thing.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that. Yeah.
So you know, you're supposed to stay home, but now the streets are full of people with no masks.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens with that. I believe a second wave of the disease is coming. Okay. And so it's forcing us into some things we really needed to be rethinking anyway. To me, in the United States, the whole school thing, the whole church thing needs to be reformed. You know, yeah, we're totally divided racially.
Yes.
And we're comfortable with it.
Wow.
We're cool with it. You know, ain't nobody questioning it, you know.
Yeah.
And schools have become antichrist. Over here, they want to ask a kid if they want to be he or she at 5 years old.
Same here.
Without their parents there. I'm like, are you serious? You know, this is crazy beyond, you know. It's like the verse, I'm trying to think of the verse in Jeremiah where he said, man, it never occurred to me to tell you not to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like God, you know, he said, man, I never thought I'd have to talk about this. You know, that's crazy. So we've got some reformation coming. And I believe we have an awakening, a revival that's going to be good. So
I love that.
I believe God's going to use it for good, you know. So yeah, but man, there's a lot of people dropping, man. A lot of people dying. You know, that's awful. So that's my take on that.
Thank
Have
you.
you guys been watching my program at all? Our services at all? Like the last 3 weeks?
We see your prayers on Facebook, but I didn't know your church.
We're on Facebook.
What's the name?
Huh?
What's the name?
Just songchurch.com. You can come to our website, or you can come to our Facebook page. And I think we're on everything, YouTube, Instagram. There's stuff you can buy that when you go on everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to share the link. I'm going to share the link when I copy this video and put it out. I'll put it in the video itself.
Okay, cool.
So that they can find you.
Okay.
You know, I like to listen to you talk.
Oh man, thank you.
But what I'm going to try and do.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to try because you're going to do it. You're going to have us up on the ropes and you're going to be killing us with truth. And if we die by anything, let it be the truth.
I mean, I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
I was given an intro to the people to say, your woman is fine looking before you get married. Marriage perspective and
after.
No, but there's a particular time before, before there's a special time, that honeymoon season, right?
Yeah.
You see her and you've got this energy, especially when you're young, this sexual energy, and you have a belief that we're going to tear it up. We're going to tear it up on the night. Maybe we'll get into the swing, but I'm needing my sex 2, 3, 4 times a week, 5, 6 times a week, 2, 3 times a day. And you've got this dream.
Yeah.
But in my personal experience of who I speak to, and also through our experience, it doesn't quite work out.
Okay.
Some couples. And what I would like to do is look at some of the things, even in the Christian arena, but it's not only subject to Christianity, but even in the Christian arena, why there is dysfunction when it comes to sex.
Right. Now, when you say it doesn't quite work out, you talking about as the frequency you were talking about, or the amount of pleasure is not what? Well,
we're looking at both, I guess.
Okay.
And I've got a feeling that this is going to be a 2-part show.
That's fine, man. Hey, there's no airplanes, there's no hotels.
There's no first class seats, man. Okay. All right. So look, this is how it works. This thing will cut out in 1 hour. So we went on it now. So we've got 40 minutes in this session. We've got to stop and then start again. Literally about a minute later, we'll bring you back in. Okay. That's how Instagram works. But bro, please tell us, what are some of the things that you are coming across as to why people are dysfunctional? Can we look at it starting before marriage, just before marriage, why people are dysfunctional?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Let's see. Sin has a pleasure to it. Okay, it's only for a season, but there is a pleasure in there's a tension in doing something you're not supposed to do.
Wow.
Okay, and so what happens is when you get involved in sex before marriage, okay, there has a tension to it, a pleasure to it, that's not going to be there with marriage. Okay. Now, marriage sex is better. It's better.
Say that again.
Okay?
Say again.
Marriage sex is the best sex ever. Okay. Now, why is that? Because your knowledge of something or someone increases your capacity to have pleasure from it. Okay. So if you come to me, what's the sport you guys have that we don't have?
Football, soccer.
Well, we have soccer. Well, what's the other one? Like,
cricket.
Like, okay, cricket.
Cricket, I was saying polo.
You come to visit me, man, and you're telling me about this dude that's good at cricket. You know, and you telling me about your team and everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure you're having fun with this, you know, but I'm getting no pleasure out of it. You can tell me a guy did something that's a major accomplishment in cricket, but because I don't know what that activity consists of, I don't get any pleasure out of that. Whereas I can tell you a guy got 25 rebounds and 45 points, and you're like, whoa, because you know what that means. You don't know what that means. Basketball.
We know it, but we don't really play it much here.
Okay. How about touchdowns?
No,
yeah, football.
No, that's American
football.
No.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Is this okay? Let's say a guy kicked 6 goals.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Nobody who does that, right? You understand that because goals mean something to you. Goals mean something to me. Because of my knowledge, I can get pleasure out of it. Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite team? Your soccer team, a football team?
We don't have one. We're weird. Just say Manchester United.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the big team, you got flags all over the house. You got stuff. You are really into it. And I come over there and I spend a week with you, and then we go to the World Championship. Well, I'm pumped because I've been with you, and now my knowledge has increased. Okay, let me use this way: a guy gets killed at war. Okay, his 1-year-old baby experiences it. His wife of 2 years experiences it, and his mother experiences it.
Here we are.
It'd be the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's been with him since he was born. The wife has a pain, but she's gonna bounce back and get remarried. The 1-year-old, they're gonna have to tell her about it. Okay. So your knowledge of something increases your capacity to experience pain or pleasure from it. Okay. So the more I know my wife, the more the pleasure increases because I know more about her. See what I'm saying? I know things about her that's taken me 17 years to discover. Matter of fact, I discovered something the other day that I didn't know. She's been trying to tell me what I didn't hear. But boy, when I got a revelation of it, it's like, man, okay, you should have gave me some flashcards or something. You should have like wrote it in hieroglyphics on the wall or something. I didn't get it. Okay. And so knowledge increases the pain or pleasure you get from something. Okay. And so marriage sex, so let's start there. Marriage sex is the best. Okay. But it's best because of deep conviction, deep commitment. You've been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? You've been through stuff. And so that deep is love. I tell you what, let me teach you on the cycle, the relationship cycle, and that'll help some, okay? 2 people meet. And, you know, maybe you've been around this girl, you've been around her in church or something, you know, you just kind of notice her, you know. But then one day she sits next to you on the bus, you're traveling someplace, or you sit down and you have a cup of coffee and you get a revelation of her. You see something, you're like, man, this girl's amazing. This was the best time I've had in a long time. And we were just sitting here having coffee, okay? So that's the birth of a relationship. At the birth of a relationship, you see something that you didn't see before, okay? And so you get a revelation, okay? You're drawn to it, you're drawn to her. And so what happens is that everything changes. You change your patterns, okay? And so you were playing basketball with the guys on Thursday night, and now that's her only night free. So the guys are wondering where you are, you know? And they say, hey, Kirk, man, what's happening? We miss you. He says, well, I met somebody and we're hanging out. Well, hey, can't you hang out another time? You know? And she said, man, Thursday night's the only night she got to hang out. I said, oh, man, you're a punk. You know, you soft, man, you know. And so you just say, no, man. So, okay, so you missed basketball with us on Thursday night. What are you talking about? We don't talk about anything in particular. We want to be together. I mean, that don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is that you change your patterns. Okay? You go to a church you like, you're sitting in front, you brought a Bible, you brought a notebook. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fresh. It's new. Okay? You're taking risk. Okay? You say, man, I want to take Nita out to dinner. You know, I want to take her out to eat, but I want it to be special. So you go to one of your boys or your pastor, your dad or somebody and say, you know, where's one of the nicest places to eat in London? And they tell you, and then you say, well, man, how much is that going to cost? Man, that's going to cost £100. That's going to cost 100.5 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And so you say, well, man, loan me $30. You know, like, why? You know, I got to take this has got to be special. Why? Because you're trying to have an effect. Okay, you're trying to be effective, man. I don't want this to slip away. I want to blow this girl's mind, you know? And so you guys go out, you act like it's not your first time there. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have this amazing time at this amazing restaurant, and it just blows your mind. Okay, so you're taking risks, you're changing your patterns, and then you formalize it. You know, he's like, I want this all the time. Will you be my girl, man? And let's talk about marriage. Let's look forward to, you know. So you formalize it. You become a couple. Okay, and you become married. Now you institutionalized it. Okay, and so now what was creative? You were creative at first. You know, she'd show up at work. There's a flower there, or she'd get up. There's a little note someplace on her car or something. You know, and but now you're not creative anymore. Okay, and so habits have now what you were doing in first that was fresh has now turned into a habit. Okay.
Different experience.
Yeah, it's turned into a habit, and now rather than trying to be effective, you're being efficient. Okay, and so rather than the $150 night or 150-pound night at this amazing,
it's £10.
Huh?
£10 takeaway.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, honey, why don't you stop by the store and get us a steak? You know, we get on Netflix, you know, and Nita said, honey, let's go back to our spot. And you're like, it's not our anniversary or nothing, you know. But what is she trying to do? She's trying to have an experience in you. Yeah. Okay. You're trying to eat. And so I'll stop at the store, get a steak or whatever you guys eat. And so she says, never mind. You say, no, it'll be the same food. Matter of fact, it may be better. You know, nah, I'm good. Why? Because now the patterns that you changed into that were fresh at one time have become old. It's become tradition, and tradition resists change. Okay, and now you're looking to be efficient rather than to be effective.
Oh gosh, we need to start from fresh. Wow.
You see, it's too simple. This is too simple.
Okay.
I'm looking for a real complex.
This is complex.
Hebrew and Greek.
No.
So you know, you can't. It's too simple, but it's that simple.
Is this making sense? See, so
yeah.
Now you're at a point where you're either going to go and renew love. Remember, do your first works. Revelation, right?
Yes.
Go back and do your first
love.
work. Okay. Yes. Or you're going to enter into crystallization. Okay. Where now you become hardened in what you do and you don't want to change. It happens in business. It happens in happens as church, as a member. You know what I'm saying? It happens in your relationship with God. This is a relationship cycle that always goes. And so now what I need to do is go I got to get a revelation. Okay, I got to get another higher revelation. And that's why I believe God makes women mysterious, because there's layers of revelation and revelation you get about your wife. See, the guys who go from woman to woman to woman never get, because all they get is fresh love. See, and when you fall in love with somebody, it takes a life of its own, man. The sun is brighter, food tastes better, sky is bluer, and you're actually on a high physiologically. There's something your brain releases when you fall in love that eventually goes away, that needs to be replaced with deep human love, which is much better, much deeper, but you don't usually get to it, because in order to get to it, you have to be mature enough to make something happen, whereas before it just happened. You just got a revelation, you fell in love, you know what I'm saying? And it had a life of its own. And so if I'm an immature man, I don't take responsibility for that. I say, oh man, the feeling ain't there no more. It's just not, I don't know the magic, man. The magic is not there. No, there's a lot more magic available, but you gotta initiate it. So you gotta go and do what you did before. Like somebody said, man, my walk with Christ, man, this is not happening no more, man. I gotta get into something. You say, well, what did you do when you first got saved? Oh man, I read my Bible all the time. I prayed, man. I was at church. I went to all the services. I was hanging around Christians, man, and we were talking about the Lord. I was listening to CDs or whatever. Okay, just go back and do that again. But I don't feel like it. No, but now you did it because it caught you up. Now you're doing it because it's wisdom. Because if you do that, you will wind up in that same place, but it'll be even deeper. If you begin to pursue him now and just read your Bible when it's maybe not as exciting, go to church, just go, man. Praise, just worship, it'll kick back in. But you have to pursue it. If you're just waiting for it to just happen, it's not going to happen that way. See, first love, how can I say it? First love, as you get into it, is a choice. Okay? When you first started, it's a feeling, but as you get into it, it's a choice. And so I got this, me and this girl, man, we met and we're Christians, but we're hanging around, we're alone a little too much. And before I was a Christian, I was having a lot of sex. And so I don't know how to act in a one-on-one situation. So you and the girl wind up having sex, but it's amazing. Okay. Why? Because it's during that time of fresh love. See, that's why women make themselves so vulnerable during this time, because this guy's in love. He's on this high with you, and he's not supposed to get the sex now. But now he's getting the sex. And then when the high leaves, he's looking at you like, next. It's like because you can't maintain that.
Yes.
And that's why it really makes women vulnerable when they have sex before the commitment, before covenant. See what I'm saying? Because now you've lost your power, because now the man has had it. He's like, everything is settled down. I've been through this before. So why would I commit to this for life?
Can I say we're usually quite talkative, but today we're just not. We're just like taking it all in. So if you see us looking at this, it's because we're just eating it. You know what I mean?
Good. Because I can't take up a lot of time talking. So if you raise your hand or something, if you want to break, if you want to come up for air. So
that's a relationship cycle, is what you were looking at.
Yeah, and I'll finish it. So you're at that point where you're either going to go into crystallization, where you become hardened. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Curtis, let's go up to that restaurant. We our first date. Girl, I ain't going up there, man. All the people, they just want your money, man. Shoot, you go in there and fix the steak. We don't need no. Matter of fact, we probably should go on a diet or something. We don't need all that food. And it wasn't about food. It was never about food. It was about an experience. See what I'm saying? But now you're hardened. Well, let's, man, I'm not happy. Let's go talk. Why ain't you happy? You ain't never happy. You wasn't happy when I met you, really. And it's crystallization. It's hardened tradition. You got some people who are Christians, man, they ain't gonna never change. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to then change your pattern. You realize, Nita, we've gotten into a rut. We're in a rut right now. Okay. And so I'm gonna take this weekend off. You're gonna take this weekend off, and we're gonna we're gonna change our pattern. We're gonna go someplace. I don't know if you golf or not, but I'm gonna leave all my golf. I'm gonna leave all my things at home, the things that I do. You know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna talk, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna make love, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna eat great food, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna break our pattern. See what I'm saying?
So there is a way out of crystallization then?
No. See, this is what you do before crystallization.
Oh.
See, if you understand the pattern, okay, then you'll know, okay, we're at a place now where tradition has taken over. I'm gonna need to plug my phone in too. But tradition has taken over, man. We're just going through, we're just going through the motions. And the woman is usually the first one to sense it. And the guy thinks everything's going good. The lights are on, we have food, we have heat, we have a nice place to live. There's a lot of people who would trade places with us. No, I didn't say I wasn't thankful. I said I think we're in a rut.
Yes. See
what I'm saying? And so what you have to do is change your pattern. You have to do something crazy, and say, hey, we're going away this weekend. Well, I had a couple of meetings. I've already canceled them. You cancel my meeting? Yeah. I'm your husband. I'm your man. Okay? And you don't have to pack. I already packed for you. She said, well, where's my bag? She opens the bag and there's no clothes in it. Where's my clothes? They won't be needed this weekend.
I'm gonna try that one,
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? She's like, what's gonna happen with the kids? Do you hear the kids? Listen, the kids are gone.
You listen.
See what I'm saying? My babies? Yeah, your babies. They're gone. They're gonna be all right. Okay? And where are we going? I don't know if I should tell you. You're asking too many questions, actually. So just get in the car, let's go. And you stop at some amazing place, or you stop at a place that's not amazing. You know what I'm saying? You may not have money for amazing, but how can I say this? But it'll be amazing. You see what I'm saying? And it's just, hey man, I just want to be with you. I remember when you were all I wanted, and I want to get back there. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, see. And so, Yvonne, are you still there? I was hoping she would be on this. Because when this call is over, I'm in trouble, okay? But let's talk. But you understand what I'm saying? I don't have this I don't have this master, but this is a, if you get dull with God, take a week off and fast. You take days off work if you were sick. Take some days off just to reconnect. It's that important, right? So you change your pattern and you get a new revelation. And so now you're back when it was first love, when it was fresh love, but now it's a different kind of fresh. Like, what's your favorite meal?
Lasagna.
I like tofu.
Yeah. Okay. So lasagna. So your lasagna doesn't need to be a brand new, what would you call it? Formula. You know what I'm saying? You can eat the same lasagna all your life. It just needs to be fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want last month's lasagna. You know what I'm saying? I want some lasagna that was made today, but I want lasagna. See? And so when I find some favorite foods, they don't taste worse because I eat them a lot. They taste better. My expectation is high. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get lasagna. It's my favorite. All I need for it is to be fresh. I don't need something new every time I sit down to eat. Is that making sense? You kind of sound on me. Yeah. I just need it to be fresh. And so what you want to do is renew love, make it fresh. Okay. Make it you don't have to be swinging from the ceilings. in our honeymoon, we got into this room, and this is our second marriage. And so we're not like in our 20s, right? So we go in this room, and the mirror, the room is mirrored, and it has a mirror on top of the bed. And just for anybody who's thinking about buying that, it's really good to be in shape. But that's another thing. Okay? But so we get in the room.
I laughed too hard.
In the middle of the mirror, there's a hook. And then we open the closet and there's this leather thing, man, that you're supposed to get in and hang from the hook. And we laughed at that, and the mirror was already cracked, man. I'm like, we're looking at this thing, and so I don't need freaky.
Yeah.
I just need fresh.
Yeah.
And free, uninhibited.
Yeah, man.
That makes sense, okay? But I don't do that. Somebody said, I want to marry a freak. I'm like, man, you want to marry a 70s freak. You haven't run into a millennium freak. You know, who comes in with another person, you know, and
or something.
And whips and chains. You know, I saw Roots. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. See, people say, well, I want a freak. No, you don't. No, you want somebody who's free, who's uninhibited, who will explore, who will take risks, take chances. But I don't need freak. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need that. And so, so that's so what I'm saying is, if you take a long ride, but you've been taking a long ride a lot, then you know the pattern of the ride. And so as I see certain landmarks, it gives me hope, and I know what to do. Does that make sense? So that's what the deal is with the relationship cycle. When I see this coming, you know, okay, man, we got to do something. And if you're really smart, you'll catch it before you get to these places, and you can renew love every day. You understand what I'm saying? Yes.
So, as Juanita did ask, what do you do when you wake up and realize that you're crystallized?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you catch it before you crystallize, because that's usually unless you're still open. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, once you get in the rut, okay, is to, because if you're crystallized, you really need to go to God to change your heart. You know what I'm saying? Because now you can have contempt for your mate. You know, you don't want, you may not even want it to work. You know what I'm saying? You may resist efforts at intimacy. One reaches out to you, no, you know what I'm saying? And so you become really hardened. And so you want to catch it before you get there. If you get there, you can go to God and just say, hey, you know what? We've become hardened in this thing, man. We've not taken care of our marriage, and we need to go to God for almost what you would call a resurrection. Okay, a resurrection of the love in our marriage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So could you define that crystallized stage? Because I want to make sure that, you know, the words
are all bases, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're trying to cover those who may perceive themselves to be finished, or
I got you.
You know, so define it for us, and then, you know, help us understand how to way out.
Yeah, that's when you focused on your mate's negative qualities so long that you really don't like them no more. I had a couple that come in one time, and they were ready to end it. And I said, okay, write down everything you like about one another. And they looked at me like, you know, nothing. You know, and I'm like, really? I said, you guys got married for a reason. You know, and so just write down, take time. It's going to take some time, because you probably haven't thought about it in a while, you know? And they wrote everything down, and so I started talking them through the list. And man, before they left, they were laughing, because they had allowed themselves to be blinded by all this negative stuff, words that have been said to each other. You know what I'm saying? They've gone through things and not taking care of their relationship in the middle of it. You know, going through hard things, loss of job, or this kind of thing, and it just becomes easier, man, to just, you know, go through the motions. Hadn't made love in a long time. I said, was sex ever good? And yeah, how good? You know, like, call the police. How good was it? You know, you know what I'm saying? Neighbors complaining. You know, and they started laughing, man. And they started laughing. And I said, speak to her heart and tell her what she means to you. I said, because when you get divorced, that stuff gonna come back. I said, the devil, no, he's not gonna let you see nothing good now. But man, when you get divorced, he's gonna show you everything good about your mate and what you're missing and all this kind of stuff. Why? So that you can take that regret into your future. See, and so
Wow.
you understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, just speak to her heart, speak to her value. You know, what does she mean to you? You know, this woman had your kids, man. She raised you. Where are you gonna get that? How are you gonna repeat that deep experience and stuff that you know, you guys got together to spend the rest of your lives together, man. You're being immature, being stupid. You know, that's where I counsel. So I don't have a long line of people waiting to talk to me. You know? But and they made it for a while. They made it for a while, you know. But you got to keep doing it. You know, you have to keep and words, man, evil words, mean words. I don't, you know, and I'm sure you guys in your church or your world, you learn about the power of words, man. We just say so many things, and we build up a wall between us. You know what I'm saying? And so it's much easier for me to have a relationship with the secretary or this lady who works beside me, who I have no history with. I only see her with makeup on. I only see her dressed well. She's always friendly. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm needy, you know, if I'm not talking to my wife, then that opens me up to talking to other women and sharing my problems with them. Well, that's a high level of intimacy. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take much to get from there to the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the wrong place. See?
Yes.
And so that's the first thing I would talk about as far as no sex after marriage. Okay. How can I say it? Oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? Stewarding the relationship, you know, and as Christians, you're in warfare. Okay, you're in spiritual warfare, and so there's times when love and war are the same thing. Okay, wow. That by loving, like say for instance, I have a son who we adopted. By loving him, I'm warring against what the devil had for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep.
So my favorite scenario is you and your wife are headed to the store. I'm sorry, I'm flying here. You and your wife are headed to the store, and so you're dressed, and you look at her and say, "Hey, I'm ready." She says, "You gonna wear that?" Like, no, I was just modeling outfits for you. You know, it's like.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
And so it's like, yes, what I was gonna wear, and so that doesn't, you know, that doesn't work with you anymore. You say, well, go pick me up, go grab me something out of work. I don't care. We're going to the store, man. You know, so she grabs something, she throws it on the bed, you put it on. You guys get in the car. Why are you driving so slow?
Man.
Like, didn't realize I was driving slow. I'll speed it up, you know, and then why'd you turn here? Why didn't you just turn down there where the store is? You're like, yeah, you know, you pull in. Why you always park so far away from everything? You know, come on, let's try. You give up too quick, you know? And so then you ride down the aisle and lo and behold, there's a parking space that's close, you know? So you pull into the parking space, but then you're telling yourself, man, I hate this woman, man. She's treating me like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? And so you go into, all this is building up. So you go into the store and she says, oh man, do you guys eat meat? Are you meat eaters?
No.
You're vegan, right?
Veggie, yeah.
Like what really sets you off when you go in the store and see it? Like you see, oh man, they got some fresh
tofu.
Huh?
Tofu.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey! Whoa, we're getting crazy tonight. Okay. So you guys go in and you see the tofu. And you say, oh honey, they got your favorite tofu on sale. And so you turn around and look at it and says, you choose it, honey. I don't know how to dress. I don't know how to drive. I don't know where to turn. I don't know where to park. So what makes you think I know what food to pick? Because now you're pissed. Now you're mad.
Yeah.
You get where I'm going here?
Yeah.
Okay. And she looks at you like, where is that coming from? Well, it's coming from the devil's been warring against me ever since we started getting dressed about you. He's been talking to me about you, and now it just spilled over. You know, now if you are sensitive enough to know that that's warfare, I'm being warred against this woman who society says as she gets older, she loses her value. And she sees how you look when young women walk past. Okay. And you don't think she notices, but she knows. She doesn't say anything. Okay. But at all that time, she's being devalued. Yeah, I'm losing it. There are a lot of women around me that are attractive. They have no morals. They have no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like he could just leave me and be with somebody so easy. And I'm insecure about that because I'm getting older. According to society, my value is going down. So you don't realize that while you're being warred against, she's being warred against. He doesn't really love me like he used to. So when you go off on her, she says, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Rather than you recognizing the war, okay, and say, now, the devil he travels in twos. So if he's warring against me, there's no way God is agreeing with me talking about my wife, right? So if he's warring against me, he's warring against her. So let me stop and break this cycle. Let me do some spiritual warfare, okay? So you stop and you say, wait a minute, stand there for a second. Do you want the tofu or not? No, wait a minute. You just stand there. Play your husband card again. You know, just look, the Bible told you to obey me. So I need you to stand there because there's something about the way that light is falling on you and the way that dress is falling on you. And then I just want to watch. I want to look at you for a minute. And she's like, you're embarrassing me. Well, hey, forget it. You can't take no embarrassment for your husband. And you just look and you just said, I was just hit with how much I love you and how much you mean to me. Come on, let's go home. We don't even need no food. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's spiritual warfare.
You did that today.
Yeah.
I'm doing it more than today, though.
You do it a lot, but you did it today in Tesco.
Yeah. This is probably some of the stuff we taught back in Oxford, but it's like there's a point where because God is one. There's not a war God and a loving God. He's and his wrath is his love. If you know what I'm saying. See, and so we have to war against what you know the devil is trying to do.
Yes.
Okay. But because we're not spiritually in tune, you know what I'm saying? We'll think those thoughts are ours. And if I came to you and said, man, Nita don't care nothing about you, man. She won't let you drive. She won't let you dress. You know, she won't let you park. Man, you say, bro, man, get out of here. You can't stand here and talk about my wife.
Right.
Yes.
But because it's a devil, because it's a demon, we don't discern it. That makes sense?
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So in your sexual life, and we can go right there when we come back. In your sexual life, the devil's warring against sex in you. You understand what I'm saying? And like take pornography, for instance.
Oh, hold on. Now, check this out.
Another topic? Okay.
No. You're perfect on the button. We got 2 minutes. So what I'm going to do.
Yep. I'm with you.
Oh, look. I mean, Barbie Welch is saying we have to counter what the enemy is trying to plant in our minds. This is deep what you're saying because this is all connected. You know, and because we have just 2 minutes left before we start the new live, I didn't want to. You'd hit on pornography, which is an interesting part. So I want you to attach this in the second round. She says as well, the enemy is always warring. Like, no, which one? We just looked at that, right?
No,
the enemy is always warring against our minds to cause us to devalue our husband or wife. I mean, Barbie, would you join us in the next session? We're going to start this live again right in literally about 10 seconds. They say
a quick break too, okay?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They're saying that this is authentic and relatable counsel.
Good. Hey, man.
Let us let you go.
Make a difference, right? Okay.
1 minute. So stay with us, guys. We're gonna come off in a couple of seconds.
How do I get more?
Is
It's not coming. Oh,
no, when you end it, it will end, in it.
there you go. Remove.
Yeah.
So people, listen, we'll see you in a minute because we're going to look at
It's a lot.
spiritual warfare is in the little things that we do every day, and in the responses. And love and war is the same thing. I'm loving that. Should we write that down? Love and war is the same thing. Guys, we'll see you in a second as we save this live. Join us back shortly.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Love and war is the same thing. I've got some quotes written down, you know.
We are waving. You see, if I go touch this thing, I always flip it. So I'll let you do it.
Listen, man, love and war is the same. Pippa, Ambelina, what you doing there, man? This is too deep for us.
If you see us quiet, it's because we're flawed, man.
What's up, Yaya? I mean, none of us can handle this. too much truth. It's coming like a double-edged sword, right? Shoop, shoop.
Yeah, it's lashing us, and you don't often hear us quiet, but this one it's a lash.
From the US, Barbie, what's happening? Listen, you're around the corner. In the US,
You're actually in our front room.
You're right here.
You're right here.
You know what I mean? Rex,
Listen, this
Eddie.
is fire. This seriously. Thank you guys, especially the regulars. Thank you guys because we're quiet today, boy. We have learnt.
He is a great teacher.
Don't crystallize. Don't crystallize though. Don't crystallize. But yeah, when we go away next, nothing in the bag.
In fact, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna burn all our clothes tonight.
No. when you go away, pack nothing. Make that bag empty. You get me?
You just need a brief, and that's it. Really, fresh brief. That's it. But
yeah, you need a fresh pants.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you need. But this is killing me. I hope he's coming back. Is he coming back?
Gone.
He's gone. Stay with us, people. He's coming back. He's just gone quickly for a quick break, but he's definitely come back. Thank you for loving our British accents. We can't even hear it ourselves, can we?
Yeah, this is a bit of a South London or London accent, really.
London accent.
It's not a British accent because British accent, like in America, they're like 20 different accents, right?
Yeah, so this is a London accent. So Pippa repeated what he said. She said, from effective to efficiency and then crystallization. I don't want to be crystallized. That was serious. And then we've got love and war are the same thing. How did I not know this? I didn't. It lashed me. I still got to learn. It is what's British? Oh, the accent is British. Yeah, it's a London accent. Eddie said, I hope. Make that clear. Yeah, I was born in Northwest London. You was born in South.
It's the same accent.
But we kind of got the same accent.
But it depending on, like, maybe you're white, maybe, and you come from East London,
yeah.
Your accent is a bit different.
No, I'm from
East London, right?
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
I can't do it.
Hey, we're just giving a little masterclass on London accents, you know.
Hey man, I need that class.
Someone said, where do we live in London? We live in South London. Like not far from Brixton. But it's all good.
Not far from
Brixton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brixton.
It's just kind of a famous area to non-British people. Okay. Yeah.
I hung out in London in '74.
Whoa, that's the year before I was born.
Where did you go?
I was with a band and we were playing. I played at a Hammersmith Odeon. And,
what? That's big.
Yeah, I was with a band and we were playing there. You won't recognize this. Junior Walker and the All Stars.
Maybe Eddie would. Eddie?
It was the Motown group.
Wow.
Motown is those are the loans.
Yeah, it's a Motown group. But anyway, I hung out there, getting in the cabs, the big black cabs at the time. I don't know what you have now.
We still have it. Still have it.
Yeah. With the fog and stuff, but that was BC.
That's 2 years. That's 2 years before me.
Yeah, I was hanging. So
you were playing music 2 years before I was born. I mean, you know.
Yeah, 1 year before I was born.
Hyde Park, you know, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
it's nice.
I didn't go to any landmarks. I wasn't
Yeah.
interested in landmarks. I just hung, you know. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It was cool.
It's all right here.
Yeah,
So you were going.
So, love and war are the same thing, man. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, and as a Christian,
and sorry, and then you led up to pornography. You hit pornography at one point. So I'm just trying to remind you where you're going.
What I was going to hit, and we'll hit it in a minute, is the significant part that pornography plays in couples not having sex. Okay, and so let me see here. Yeah, I'm warring. I'm praying over my wife. I'm warring against what I know the devil is doing in her head.
Yeah.
You know, because he's trying to devalue her. And a marriage is so powerful from a standpoint of prayer. See, if you understand, how can I say it? Your guy, King James, messed up things when he replaced the word ecclesia with church. Okay. On this rock I will build my ecclesia. Well, ecclesia, you know, Jesus could have used 3 terms. He could have said, I'm going to build my synagogue, or I'm going to build my temple. Okay, those are 2 religious terms, but he said ecclesia. He said, I'm going to build my assembly. Okay, and an assembly was a term that the Greeks and the Romans used when they controlled the world in their times, that wherever 2 Romans are, okay, wherever 2 or 3 Romans are, it represents an assembly, and whatever they decide is law. It's a legislative term. Okay, so wherever there are 2 Christians or more, God says, I'm there. Okay, now who else do you need? You know, God's all you need. And he says, and whatever you agree upon shall come to pass. Okay, now King James, when he did his version of the Bible, he wanted to take that out because he didn't, you know, I'm the powerful one. I'm the one that decides what goes on. And he didn't want the Christians to be empowered and think that they had the power above the king. And so he changed it to a religious term of coming to a building and meet. Okay. Not that you shouldn't come to a building and meet, but that's just not the point. The point is that wherever 2 Christians are, whatever they agree upon will come to pass. And a marriage is a built-in ecclesia.
Ooh.
You understand what I'm saying? A marriage is a legit legislative body in the kingdom of God. And that's why the devil fights marriages so much. Okay. I used to go through these things. You and I talked about it the other day, cluster headaches. They say it's the worst pain a human can feel, is what I've heard. Okay. Suicide headaches, they also cause. And man, I've had battles with these things that were just so crazy. When I get married, I have them, but they're shorter and the intensity is less because me and my wife are praying together.
Bro.
And I can tell the difference. So this last time when my son was going through, I said, call me, no matter what time it is, and they hit, call me, man, because they'll have you screaming for your grandmama, man. I mean, these things are awful. And so because we operated together, they were less and shorter, less intense and shorter. But I noticed that when we got married, that stuff that I would have to battle with, I didn't have to battle with the same way because we had the power of agreement working. That makes sense, okay?
Yeah.
And so you guys represent the saving of your family. I mean, the generational lines, you know what I'm saying? That's how powerful a marriage is because you possess the power of agreement, which takes your level of faith exponentially higher, not incrementally. One can chase 1,000, 2 can put 10,000 to flight. And it's not only talking about what you agree upon, but it's talking about the nature of your relationship, symphonious. If 2 people are harmonious, are getting along, are getting, you know, whatever they agree on will come to pass. And that's why it's so easy to get into this kind of stuff. And that's why maturity is so important. Okay. And so that's what I wanted to show is that is that when you say I do, it's on, you know, and you need to really know spiritual things. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be fought. I know people that have married people who are really nice people, but they're not real spiritual people. And they say, well, man, he's nicer than the spiritual people I know. I said, yeah, but when the devil comes, is he gonna know what to do? Is he gonna know how to focus on what God is trying to do and not get involved in the noise? Is he gonna have the spiritual maturity to discern things like that? And so that's what I want the married couple to know, that sometimes sex is love and it feels good. Sometimes sex is spiritual warfare. See what I'm saying?
No.
How? No.
Well, because, how can I say it? Women are wired for sex. I really believe God created sex for women. Okay.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Because women are wired for sex to be this amazing spiritual, emotional, physical journey that we can't take. Okay. We can't take it. I believe if we had the kind of orgasms women have, we need counseling. We need to go someplace. I mean, you know, I'm serious, man. I don't. We might come out of there, you know. I'm serious, man, and so we heat up quicker, right? Men, we heat up quicker sexually. Give me an amen first, okay? If you agree with that, okay?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, it was just the reception that broke down.
Scenario, right?
No, go back. No, we can't hear you. It was breaking up. It's breaking up.
Okay. It's something you put food in and it heats up. You can put it in there overnight and it heats real slow.
Yes, we know crock pots, yeah.
Men, we're a microwave. You know, it doesn't take much, right? Okay, so now why did God wire it that way? He wired it that way so that we would be the leader. You see what I'm saying? Let's take health and foods and things like that. You're on fire with that. I'm not. But your fire is to get me on fire. Talk to me about food and talk to me about lifestyle and stuff. And I get excited about it. Well, that's the way it is between the man and the woman sexually. Okay? Is that he's on fire to put her on fire. Okay? And bring her up. It's like, man, my wife don't want to have sex. Well, it's your job to lead her there. See what I'm saying? And it's a 24/7 thing, you know. Just brushing against her while she's doing something. Looking at her, just, see, I don't want my wife to know my tricks, but I usually just teach this to men, okay? But it's a 24/7 thing, an unexpected call, and all those things play into it. See what I'm saying? Why? Because I'm up here and I want her up here. So I have to bring her up here. Okay, how do I get her there? Talk to her, speak to her heart, non-sexual touching, those kind of things. Just, speaking to her value, that kind of thing. And get her to where I am, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, how can I say it? Men can have an orgasm after 3 minutes. Okay. A man can have an orgasm in 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But women, it takes 14. It takes 14 minutes. Okay. That means for 11 minutes, you got to find something to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so this woman is this beautiful garden. Everything she has is hidden. Everything we have is like is out there, right? But everything she has is hidden, and all women are different after a certain point. Does that make sense? See, and so a lazy man is not going to discover the treasures. See, especially if he's been sexually active, he's going to take his wife on honeymoon and try to do to her what he's been doing to everybody else. And it may or may not work. See, my wife was telling me one time a guy, she had dated a guy and he was blowing in her ear. And it was really irritating. You know, she started crying because some of the air was getting in her eye. And so, but people know that as a sexual move, blowing somebody's ear. But for some people, it's like, is there a tornado or something happening? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's never been a move that I would like. You know, it's like, is there a fly in the room or something? You know, but everybody's different. Every woman is unique. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes Christian women will get into the rut of wanting a man with sexual experience. And so what are you telling me? You just like everybody else he met? You don't want him to experiment. You don't want him to search. You don't want him to. And so when I was a kid, we played a game. What was it? Hot, cold. I don't know if you remember. You would go hide. And if the person was close, they say hot.
Yeah, I remember.
You get colder. And that's what every couple should do on their honeymoon. You like this? Nah, I didn't like that. You know, you like this? That was okay. You like this? Whoa. Okay, stay right there. Stay right there. I think we're going someplace.
So can we ask a question on that?
Yeah.
How do couples how do couples manage frigidity?
Frigid. What does that mean?
Frigid, like for example, for example,
fridge. It means cold.
Frigid.
Yeah, it means cold. The word is cold. Frigid.
Oh.
Keep going.
Refrigerator.
Right.
Frigid climate. You gotta heat
it up. Simple things.
Yeah, it's yeah. You need some heat. What does she like? What warms her up? Maybe conversation. Maybe just saying, "Hey, honey, how was your day?" and get into a conversation. That may get her to a point, not sexually aroused, but just her heart open. You understand what I'm saying? See, affection, intimacy is not measured in inches. It's measured in affection. Okay, and so you can be laying there right next to your wife, and it's cold as ice. You know there ain't nothing happening tonight. No way, no nothing. I'm in the doghouse. You know what I'm saying? But we're laying right next to each other. So it's not a matter of physical closeness. It's a matter of your heart being open. Like, say, if I tell my wife a joke and she doesn't laugh, then I know, man. Okay, whoa, because she didn't. Because if your heart's not open to me, you're not gonna laugh at my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So now, okay, what's going on? Because now I got to get whatever's between us. Either I need forgiveness or I need to understand something. Whatever's between us, now we got to get it out so that her heart's open to me again. See what I'm saying? And so you got to know, guys. You got to know, guys and women. You got to know how to work it. Okay, I don't know if that's a term you guys use. Okay?
Yeah.
You got to know. You got to know how to work it. You know, you got to know how to. I mean, I assume my wife is attracted to me. Okay, now she ain't attracted to me. We got a big problem. Okay, so I'm assuming there's some things in place. Like, I'm attracted to my wife. She's attracted to me. Okay, and so there's certain things that I can do to work that. There's certain things she can do to work that. I mean, I can be in my office right here, man. Yeah, Rihanna. The most sexy picture for me is my wife in one of my shirts. That does it for me, okay? And so I can be, and my doors are glass, so she'll walk by in one of my shirts. I'm like, Shandalaba.
Straight.
Excuse me, Jesus. I know you're the same yesterday and forever, but this is a moment.
I cannot miss this. You will forgive me.
Yeah, and it's not. He created her. It's his fault. And so she knows that gets me. She can pull me out of the holy of holies by just walking by. And you know what I'm saying? So what is she doing? She's working it. She didn't say nothing.
Hey.
I mean, when I come in the bedroom, she's like, huh? Yeah. But it's like, come on now.
No.
And so that's what you got to do is it's the play. It's the fun that you have with each other. That to me, that's a big deal. I don't know how people without a sense of humor make it. I don't know what they do, And so, but my wife and I, we laugh a lot together, man. We have a lot of fun together. And so that keeps our hearts open. And I can tell when they're not because the fun goes away. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the deal is, and some people have medical issues. Okay. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what to do if you have a medical issue. I think most of that thing is in your thought life though. If frigidity being shut down, and see, to me that's like a puzzle. It's like a challenge. Maybe my way there is a different way. See, as a guy, I can be anything you need me to be. However you're wired, I can be that guy. Okay, I can change. Okay, because men, we need so little. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a whole lot of crazy stuff to satisfy us unless you've been conditioned to that. I know one guy, he told me, he said, man, I've had a lot of sex, and my wife, she's a virgin, and she was a virgin when we met. And so she ain't like, she ain't no freak. And I said, man, train her.
Come on,
not
what are you just saying?
Not in the sense of an animal, but I'm saying bring her into it.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? See, we say freak, and what we really mean is free, uninhibited.
Yeah.
To just be uninhibited and don't do anything that turns your wife off. If she's turned off by something, you're not gonna make me like something by giving me more of something I don't like. You see what I'm saying? And so we are really servants in this thing. We are to serve, and so and you don't really hear a whole lot about frigidity anymore. You hear about ED, erectile dysfunction, a whole lot more than you hear about women being frigid. I get a lot more complaints now from women about husbands than the other way around. And it shows you that something has happened between our relationships, and that men are being shut down. Masculinity is being shut down. And so yeah, man. We are the leader, and we should teach our young couples to do the hot cold game, and just say, do you like this? How does this feel? How does this feel when I touch you here? How does this feel when I touch you here? Well, it feels good, but you're touching me too intense. Okay, so I'll lighten up. So you got to constantly. One of the big mistakes women make is that a man should know how to make love to her. How would he know that? Unless all women are the same. You see what I'm saying? And all women are not the same. Uniqueness is a big deal to women. I can wear I can wear the same suit as another guy to an event, and it's not a big deal. We just want to know who paid the most. It's like, where'd you get yours? But when women wear the exact same outfit, that's like a violation of my identity.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
I want to go home.
Why? Because that's because of the desire for uniqueness. I want to be the only one of me. See what I'm saying? And so we are supposed to, as men, feed into that. Does that make sense? And women are supposed to feed into a man's sense of value, that I didn't pay more for this than somebody else did. And that's why their reputation is so important. I don't want to value something somebody else played with. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so in this present age of free sex and everybody, you know, that's what happens to a woman. There are a lot of women that are not married because the guy can't deal with her past.
Can I ask a question? In the light of what we're living through now, what do you think COVID will do to marriage relationships, or has done already? What impact do you think COVID-19 will have on marriage, on relationships and marriage as well?
It'll amplify whatever you had. Yeah, if you weren't getting along and you're stuck in the house together, it's gonna be bad. If you had an abusive husband, you're gonna wind up at the shelter.
Yeah,
shelters are overfull. Women just having to leave to protect themselves. If you like each other and you love each other's presence, then you're loving it. You're having a great time. You know what I'm saying? And so some things amplify. They just amplify whatever you already had. And there was a point I was going to make. You guys go on. It'll come back.
Well, I have a question about inhibitions.
Yeah.
Can you, in fact, I don't need to ask you much about a question about it, because I know you're just going to cover it nicely. Talk to us about inhibitions and what do we do with them?
Yeah. Well, the word Eden, the Garden of Eden, means pleasure. The word Eden means pleasure. Okay. And it was a place where God originally meant for us to live. And so God wants us to live in pleasure. He created pleasure. He gave us the capacity to feel pleasure. Okay. All of the essential things in life are accompanied by pleasure. Eating food is pleasurable. Sex is pleasurable. Conversation is, communion is pleasurable. Even his presence is pleasurable. Okay. In his presence is fullness of joy. And so the things that he wants us to do, he made them pleasurable. And that's what we got to get in our mind. We've had this thing of that sex is bad or something like that. And so we've got to get in our mind that God actually made sex for us to have fun with. Okay. And that he actually put an organ in women that's only for pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay. It has no other function but pleasure. God made you that way. See, that's why I don't believe in evolution. In evolution, you wouldn't get something that was just for pleasure. Just for survival.
Yeah.
That's a relational piece. See, and see, so on one side you have the clitoris. On the other side, you have the G-spot. They both just exist for pleasure. Okay, and so the thing is to get comfortable with one another. Okay, and then have some fun. Let's have some fun, and let's see how this works. Let's, me on top, you on top. Let's try some stuff, okay? And have fun with each other while you're being intimate. I mean, you'll have times when sex is deeply intimate. You'll have times when it's crazy, when it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Just go around and just be uninhibited. Now, what really helps that is if a woman is cool with her body. Okay, and really both of them, that you want to be comfortable with your body and how you look without your clothes on. So at least to your mate, you want to be, a man should never do anything that would make a wife feel like she's not attractive. It's a big deal, and so that's just being free, Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how much to tell you.
She's listening. She's watching right now.
Let's say free, okay? And so now some people come out of backgrounds that don't believe in oral sex. Okay, and those people are going to hell. No, I'm just playing. But that's an area. That's an area of where the inhibition can come in. I don't want to do that. That's nasty. And never ask somebody to do something that feels nasty to them. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's or it can have a connotation of maybe sodomy. So there's an appropriation where you're like, where did that come?
Somebody was like,
yeah.
What was that?
No, sorry, I was reading a comment. So sometimes people have these connotations that maybe oral sex or certain other sexual positions or activities are of the devil, stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's Bible says the marriage bed is honorable. Okay. I don't believe in everything. You know, we draw the line at certain things. But I believe that man, especially for women, I think that's what makes the world go round. I mean, that you should, you know, because women get the short end of the stick in I didn't mean that, you know, but they get the short end of the stick in almost every other part of life, man. They have to have babies. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? And all these things. And I'm sure that's a joy, but it's work too. Okay? Yeah. And so, man, when you get into the bedroom, that's the only room that separates her from the kids. Everything else that she gets, the kids get, except that room. So that room ought to be amazing. Okay. And what goes in there ought to be off the hook. I mean, it's just a woman, you know, a man is one time and then I gotta take a break. A woman can go as long as she can do it without going crazy. What a gift. What a gift from God is that I have this body that's almost unlimited, you know, as far as the amount of pleasure it can take.
It does make sense. Can I ask, you know, when that scripture says, because we see it, I've always heard it as the bed is undefiled. You're saying the bed is honorable. What does that mean in layman's terms? Everyday speak.
That means that it's honor. It's a good thing. It has it's not something to be ashamed of. Okay. It is how can I say this? It is meant to be as pleasurable as it can be. Okay. And it's honorable. It's not dishonorable. It's private. It's intimate. Okay. But it's an honorable thing. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be inhibited about, if that makes sense. Okay. It's the blessing. It's worship. Okay. Yeah, it's a place of how can I say it? When you look at covenant, there's always three parts of covenant. Okay, there's the will, which relates to the Father. Okay, and there's the working of the covenant, which is the Son. Jesus came to do his Father's will. So when he went to the cross, he was doing his Father's will, and he was cutting covenant on the cross. Okay, is that the way you guys are taught? Okay, so on the cross, he was cutting a blood covenant. Well, then, so you have the will, you have the work, but then you need the ministry. So after the Son goes, the Holy Spirit comes and he manifests the covenant. You have a covenant of healing. Holy Spirit manifests that. Okay, and then on our side is the receiving of the promise. Okay, there was the receiving of the work, and then there's the priesthood. Okay, the priesthood is what keeps covenant alive, right? You stop ministering to God, you stop praying, you stop worshiping, things go dead. It's not that the covenant is over, it's just not alive. Make sense?
Yes.
We're together so far? Well, your sexual relationship, your marriage bed is the altar of your marriage. And it helps keeps things alive.
Wow.
I remember Yvonne was a little ticked at me, and I wasn't getting none for a while, you know. So I'm like, okay, hey, you know, I'm guilty. I don't want it. If your heart's not open, I don't want sex as like a concession, you know, like just, you know, you're not enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it. So I don't want that kind of sex. So so she started getting she started getting horny, okay? And she would look at me a certain way. I said, I want to really respect your heart. You know, if your heart is wounded, you know, I don't want to violate that, you know. And so she's coming closer. And she's coming closer. And I said, so are you healed? You know, because I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing if you're not healed. You know, if you're not. And finally, man, she got real healed. And so because my sex drive it's supposed to help me get over stuff.
It doesn't it?
You see what I'm saying? You know, it's like it was a big deal on Monday, but on Friday, you know, like what was I mad about? You know what I'm saying? And so it's actually a driver of intimacy in your marriage, but at the same time, it's a measure of intimacy in your marriage.
Hey.
Hey.
And we're about to sign off here. It's been a lovely evening.
How are you?
We're good.
You can tell it all.
She couldn't take it.
Be free. Tell it all.
Oh, hey, baby.
That was funny. I said, I'm not ready. I want to have sex with you. He said, okay, I won't come at you. I won't do anything. I'm like, I didn't say all of that.
we accelerated her breakthrough.
Yes, it was quick. I'm like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say hi.
Oh, we need her on, man. We need her on there, bro.
But, see, and so it's the sex drive for each other to help keep you together. God gave it to you to serve that, and so it's honorable. Some people use that to say, you know, everything you do is honorable. You could take that. There's some, you know, some things that we don't want to do there. Okay. It just seemed it doesn't seem good. Okay. And so I believe that's what that is. Man, marriage is supposed to be fun. I don't get marriages that are not fun. And I was in one. Okay. But I don't get why, man, you got this woman laying next to you, man. You know, like, wow, what a blessing. you know what I'm saying? And so the enemy to marriage, and it's the enemy also to sex, is a hardened heart. When your heart just gets cold towards one another. You know, remember that was the reason for divorce. Talk about Matthew 19. See, and so it's staying fresh, experimenting, and having fun. Man, one of the most spiritual things Yvonne and I did was put a lock on our bedroom door.